Can't hear you. I can't hear you. I don't know why I can hear you.
I'm a mute. There we
Oh,
go.
there we
I'm
go.
on.
Yay!
I'm on.
Woo, woo.
Yay. Diane, good to see you. Oh my
Likewise,
gosh, we got some
likewise. Good
good
to be
faces in the
here.
crowd. Good to see you all. All right, now I get to do the fun bit where I go live in Facebook land and give me 2 minutes and let me get those guys going. I think all I do there is just make them mad because I can never technically get it right. Let me just go over.
Persistence is key.
It's wanting me to do a new one. Dang it. Dang it. I hate this. All right. Let me see. I was just listening to Taylor Swift. Any Swifties in the crowd?
Who's Taylor? Who's Taylor Swift?
How come I can't hear you guys? Where's the audio
Can
going?
you hear me now?
to?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can't hear a single one of you. Oh my
Really?
goodness. Can you guys hear each
Uh-oh.
other?
Yeah, we
Yes.
can hear you
Why
and we can
is
hear
it
each other.
happening?
She's asking us a question, but she can't hear us. How does she get her response?
I see Jenny's voice moving.
Yeah, because we're moving, right?
Moving. I don't hear the voice.
We're all laughing.
Oh, okay. Everybody's talking, but me. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
You can
Yes,
hear
we
me.
can hear you.
All right, so it's my bad. What is happening? Let me go into
That's
my
the thing
settings and make sure it's coming.
That's the thing with Zoom.
Of,
it's always a crapshoot with
select my
Zoom. I don't know why.
speaker. Let's do this. Okay, now you guys are gonna be super loud. Somebody talk.
Okay, we're talking. We're here. We're here for you.
Yes. Oh my God. Thank goodness you guys are all so forgiving. All right. Oh, we got some good gang. So real quick, as I'm doing all this jazz with getting Facebook land all set up, in the chat, let me know if you just got a text from me and you're jumping on because you got that text. I'd love to know. It's an experiment. So just let me know because I just sent out a text as an experiment to see how many people would be jumping on. And I know a lot of new people will be jumping in the next minute or so. So if that's you, let me know. So and I'm trying to go live in Facebook at the same time. And so sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I use
It says
eCam
live demo. It says
Yeah.
live demo, messages addressed, meeting group chat on the right. Here we go. Yeah, yeah.
What are you doing? Wait.
So the day before,
Go
I
live
didn't
now.
respond to the
I
latest
know. So
before I
the
got it.
thing is when I created the event in this tool called eCam Live, I set the time and date incorrect. I have to set it in this tool called eCam Live. And because I changed it, it doesn't let me just directly connect. And I don't. So anyway, we're going live. 3, 2, 1.
Bam.
And yay, we're live on Facebook. All right, cool. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and share my Zoom meeting. There we go. That way you guys can see the chat. You can see everything over in Facebook land. Now, let's see. Jeff got the text. Dan got an email and text. Okay. But he came from the email. And Diana, I did respond to an earlier text and signed up from the email. Okay, cool. So there was just one guy who jumped in. So I sent a text 10 minutes ago using Hiro. And basically all it said is, hey, I'm going to go live in 10 minutes. Sharing some stuff that we've been doing. If you want to join me, here's the link. And so super grateful that I get to do these Tuesdays at 2. I am very respectful of your time. I know we are all super busy. So here's how He heard it through the grapevine. Here's how we roll with this is basically this is just a give. I'm going to share some tips, tactics. This is unscripted. It's just basically what's working in my business or what I've seen working in clients' businesses. So you can model it, you can pick up ideas, and you can use these yourself. And also, I can answer any questions you have. It can be about what we're talking about today. It can be about anything. So, sound good? If you guys are down for that, I like to keep these to a half an hour. That's my goal. But need being, I don't have anywhere to go after this. So if you guys still have questions, I'm here for you. Sound good? Everybody game? Awesome. Awesome. Yes. All right. Thank you, Michelle. So, how many of you guys are using SMS in your business right now at all? Like at least you're collecting the phone numbers at a very minimum. Anybody using SMS? And by using SMS, I mean, maybe you do a keyword opt-in, maybe you send out texts for meeting reminders, for specials, anything like that. So Dan said yes. So we got one person, which is fine because it's weird, right? To be texting somebody. Jenny Jones says he's still figuring it out. Diana's using it. Okay. Okay. And to be honest, I don't use it a lot. I join a lot of text messaging services just to see how people use it. And pro tip, if you want to do that, if you just want to hack other people's SMS systems or what they're sending out for text, you can sign up for a Google number. Mine was free when I got it. I don't know if they're still free, but that's my sort of my spam number. Yeah, Diane's going, yeah. Yeah. So that's my spam number. And I just give that number out and it shows up in your Google inbox. You'll see an email when people use it or text to it, which I quite like because then all those texts are in one spot and I can kind of see how they phrase things and word things. And I don't know if they're converting or not, but I know how they make me feel. How many of you guys, let me know, how many of you ever signed up for a text with a politician? Donated. How many of you guys ever donated to a politician and then you end up getting their text afterwards is really what I mean. That's usually what happens. You donate $5 and then they spam you like you're on their list, right? Yeah. So I want to share real quick before I get into these tactics, something that I learned at a mastermind last week. And you sent that text. So you're the one who does it. Something that I learned at a mastermind last week, which is really super interesting. And really how they phrased it, it was a theory about a mouse and the cheese and a cat's whisker. If you've heard this before, please help me if I mess it up. But the idea is a mouse, when he smells the cheese, and if that cheese has a hint of a cat's whisker, even close to it, has any scent of it, the mouse would go to a corner and starve rather than eat that cheese. Okay. So even if there's a hint of a whisker in that cheese, it's like danger, danger, don't touch the cheese. So why am I sharing this? Well, the mouse is our audience. And us as business owners, well, we're kind of the cat, right? And the idea of buy from us is that whisker. Like as soon as I get that sort of sense that, hey, oh, Frederick says he's not hearing any sound. Anybody else not hearing sound? Oh, I should probably text it. Anyone else not hearing?
We got you, Carla.
Jenny, you can hear?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mark. Mark said yes too. Okay. So Frederick, I do not know why you're not getting the sound out. Maybe it's if you go in the corner where the microphone is, there is a little up arrow. And if you click on that, you have to select your speaker. That's where I had problems. My speaker was my microphone for some reason, so it wasn't coming out. So, okay, I'm going to go back to the mouse and the cheese. So, a lot of times, most businesses will try to sell to a client, to a prospect within, I can't quite remember, I want to say the first 72 hours of meeting. And that converts maybe 7-8%, at best 10% of the audience out there. Whereas if you have a long-term view of nurturing them for 2-3 months, then your ability to convert them is way higher. And there's like 70-80% of the audience that is still out there. Yes, there it is. Matt Stafford's analogy. Yes, because he's the one who taught this to me. Yeah. And I'm ruining it completely. I should have had my notes of every, because when he was saying it, I was just like writing furiously. If you don't know who Matt Stafford is, he's a brilliant, amazing human all around, but great marketer as well. And he credited somebody else. So there is somebody else who got it. But needless to say, what you want to do is nurture people. And the reason I'm precedenting this SMS technology is it is part of that long-term nurturing process where you don't want to sell them right away. It's more or less giving, helping them out, and then making it convenient for them to purchase from you when they're ready. Okay. So it's the mouse and the cheese and the whisker. If you want to ever Google it, I'm sure there's stuff. The analogy is fully listed out there, but the idea is you do not want to come in hot and try and sell to them straight out of the gate. I think you guys all know that, but this is one of the reasons why I love audio, because it allows you to nurture them, I think, a lot quicker than a 2-month period, because there's a lot of trust in the voice, and you can give them results quickly. They don't have to jump on a Zoom call like this. They can just be driving along and bada bing, bada boom. They're learning, and it's just you talking to them. I'm guessing a lot of you guys are like doing other stuff right now. I wouldn't blame you. If I was on this call and I wasn't presenting, I'd be getting emails done and stuff. So your attention split. Whereas when you're doing audio, they're like walking or cleaning, and their endorphins and happiness chemicals are popping around. So they're learning more. And not to be vulgar, but it's like Perry Belcher says, you don't meet someone and invite them straight to bed. Yeah. Not that. No, Mark. That's, he is funny. Perry Belcher is another brainy guy, super smart. And I wish I was in Mexico with him right now. But yeah, these guys, it's pretty basic, but I think it's lost in this hustle culture, and also with a lot of people promoting how I launched his website and I made like $10,000 a week later, right? You're getting a lot of that. So Stacey, you go. The chat is cracking me up. All right. So here's how many of you guys, and no offense if you aren't using Hiro, but how many of you guys are using any sort of SMS platform right now, like either collecting or anything like that? Doesn't have to be Hiro, it could be anything. Yeah, okay, Tessa's awesome. Or just even experimented with it a little bit, right? Like, I know my first experiments with SMS was just reminders to show up for events and things like that. And it was hard. Like, it took me so long to just get a reminder text out. So awesome. Yes. Okay. So Jenny's brings up the new laws. There is a little bit about that, and I'm not a lawyer, so I can't really speak towards that, or I haven't really dove into the regulations that they have out there right now. But you do need to be careful, right? You need to be sure. It kind of seems like some of these lists that I'm signed up for, they don't really care about the laws, because they're texting me practically almost every day about stuff. So, and even when I say stop, they continue. So I'm going to share what I do and methods that some of my clients use. And then I'm just going to go in and show you how I set this up in Hiro. I'm also going to show you a couple new features we have in Hiro, just so you know that they're aware. I'm very bad at announcing these new features. I need to get better at that. Like I need to at least share it in the group and stuff like that. But we're just like constantly working on the next thing. So I'm like, let's go. On the cheese and yes, I think it is Dean Jackson. Yeah, that sounds familiar. Okay, thank you, Mark. That's helpful. And it's a good analogy. It helped me. Yes, Guy, Hiro is on AppSumo and it ends today. Thank goodness. So, all right, let's go into a couple of cool strategies. Do any of you speak from stage at all? Thank you, Stacia. Okay, Dan speaks from stage. Mark does. Okay, because you guys look kind of like this. All right, super cool. I speak from stage, and I like to get everybody's name and number that was in the audience, because those are the hottest customers you can ever have. I mean, you're already established as an authority because you're on stage and you're sharing your knowledge and you want to get their deets, right? So if you aren't speaking from stage and you're a little bit nervous about it, I would highly recommend getting some training and learning how to come up with a signature speech and getting on some stages. I mean, it can be like podcast as a stage. But here's one strategy that one of my customers used that I'm like, oh my God, that's so brilliant. I'm going to use this. It's so good. I didn't use it in my last 2 speaking gigs. I tried something different, but I gave away my book in my last 2. But what this guy does is he tells everybody to put their pen and paper away. Don't take any notes. Just put your notebook away. Put away your phone. Put it in sleep mode. Don't take any pictures of your slides or anything like that. Just put it all away because I'm going to give you a copy of everything at the end. So I'm going to give you a copy of all my notes. I'm going to give you a copy of this whole recording of the whole presentation. It's going to be right in your inbox. And at the end, he does a text, keyword text. So he puts up the keyword, which is usually something about the event that he was at. And they text that and they will give him back, or they get back a copy recording of his talk with all the slides. And he'll put in some bonus stuff. Now, what's cool about that is he just got everybody's name and number in the room, or almost everybody. A lot of times when you speak at these events, they'll charge you to get the names and numbers of the attendees. So he got everybody's name and number. And also he can throw in bonuses in that audio recording that he's giving to them. And sometimes he throws in stuff like example coaching calls, a quick hot seat with a client, so that they know what working with him is like. They can experience it. And so that's a really easy, cool way to get people's numbers in the crowd. One thing I like to do is I just give away a copy of my book, Prompt Publish Profit, and I set up a keyword that reflects the event and the host of the event. And then I just give away the book to everybody who's in the room. I bring a few physical copies as well to give away because some people like a physical copy. So that's a strategy right there. And if you're on any podcast, of course, you can say text to opt in. You can put it in your email signature. You can put it in your social media profiles. You can do all of that. And it's just a great way to build your list, because text messages are opened usually within 10 seconds of people receiving them. And the open rate is around 99%. So when you do a text message, you keep it super short. I like to make it sound like I'm like, does this sound like I'm texting my best friend or my mom or somebody I'd work with? Or does it sound like kind of cheesy, right? Am I getting straight to the point? Am I being super friendly, or is it a little bit nerdy? So I like to keep it short and concise, to the point, and it's usually going to give them value. And then when I set up automated messages, so I don't know if you know about this, so I'm going to transition from collecting the SMSs to sending SMSs. So once I have their numbers, I send them messages. And you can set this up to do automatically. And I usually only set up at least 3 messages. Okay. Jenny says he has a suggestion. Before I transition, do you want to share that now, or should I get into the?
Yeah, no, I was going to make the suggestion
Yeah.
on when you give away. I know one thing that everybody wants to know in your presentations is they want a copy of the slides. So my suggestion, and what I found works best for me, is I never like to give up my raw slides, right? So what I've used is I'll use these readers, that these PDF, well, I'll create a PDF book. And so I'm not giving up my raw slides, right? So I'll create the PDF book, and it even has a wall on that as well. I still want to make sure that I know where my information is going, because now in this digital age, people are kind of hijacking your stuff and taking it and then creating it their own, and then they're charging. Does that? Hopefully that makes sense. But I had to learn that along. I learned that after I started seeing my stuff show up. I'm like, how are you teaching me my own stuff?
Yeah. I know,
so
right?
Anyway, I just wanted to put that out there. Thank you.
That is good. Yeah, thank you for that, because very valid point. When you're giving out the audios through Hiro, that's really gated. But when you're giving out like slides, PDFs, those sort of things, at the moment, we don't have it integrated into Hiro where you can upload an accompanying PDF, for example, to an episode, and then it only goes to the individual who has access to that episode. That is a feature we want to add in down the line. But what Jenny is saying is you can use other systems so that you're not just giving out a link to your Google Slides. I would not recommend that. One, turn it into at least a PDF so they can't just automatically take your slides and use them. But then another step would be to gate it as well, so you know exactly who has those PDFs. A lot of times if you gate those, by that I mean they have to give you an email. You can also have them tick a box or like put copyright information in there that says like, I will not redistribute this, or this is not for distribution, I agree to the terms, that sort of thing. Because unfortunately it does happen. People will take whatever you have, and then they'll say that you copied them, and it's all crazy. So yeah, thank you, Jenny, for sharing that. Okay. Now I'm going to transition into texting people and sending messages to them once you got their number. This is where the fun begins. So I am not an expert at this. I don't do this for a living, but what I'm going to share is what has worked charmingly for me, like really, really good. But there's only 3 automated texts that I send out, and I'm going to share how I set that up after I explain what they are. So the first one is a gift. So as soon as they hit play on the show, I don't send it to them straight away. I don't think. I don't know. I don't remember. I'm pretty sure I make sure they hit play and actually listen to the show, but it's a gift. And it's usually above and beyond what they expected. So that all aligns with the law of reciprocity. Do you guys know about the law of reciprocity? And anybody? So where you give and you give and you give. I think we were just talking Yeah. So we were just talking about Matt Stafford. He is so amazing. He's been giving to me, helping me out a ton. And I just said to him, look, this feels so unbalanced. How can I repay you? And that's what the law of reciprocity does, is you're just giving. And the other person, if they have a conscience, feels like they want to give back, right? And that's pretty natural. Most people are pretty awesome people and they want to give back. So the first one's a gift. And if you're wondering, well, what kind of gift can I give? And sometimes it depends on the audience. Sometimes I'll give them just like a little Starbucks gift card. That's really nice. Like have a coffee on me sort of thing. Other times I'll just give them a cheat sheet or a calculator or maybe a behind the scenes, like how I set something up, like a little bit of something that gets them the result that they're looking for even faster. And it doesn't have to be beautiful. It doesn't have to be awesome. It just gets them some sort of great result. Okay. And that can be kind of hard to figure out, well, what is good for this? Guess what? We all have super brains now. So ChatGPT is really, really good with coming up with ideas of things that you can give out for gifts. Okay. And so the first one's a gift. And then the second one that I always set up automatically is if they stop listening to the show. So in Hero, you can set this up. If they stop listening for, let's say, a week, I can automatically send them a message that just asks, is everything okay? And this one message, I get so many replies for it. People saying, thank you. I was, in the hospital, or my mom got sick, or something happened, or I was on holiday and I really wanted to get back to this. Thanks for checking in. So you might think it feels a little creepy, but that one really has, people appreciate it, that you're looking out for them. Because I'm going to pause here. If you're an expert, what people really want from you is to help them make decisions faster and with more confidence. That's it. They want help making their decisions faster and with more confidence. And if you can help them do that, and if you show that you really care and that's what you're there for, they will appreciate it. So the second one is just everything okay? And then the third one is when they get to a certain part in the audio show, I don't make them finish it. I think it gets close to the end. I think it's about 80%. Give them a congratulations. I think thank you. And let them know that they're my kind of people. They take action. And do they want to jump on a call to see how this will all work out for them? And that's how you can book people into your calendar. So any questions on those three or any other types of messages that you can send out that are really powerful and effective? I do send out more than those three, but those are the minimum. Any questions about that?
Hey, Carla, do you ever send out like maybe a possible survey to see like what they would like to learn next? Or
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one. No, I have not, but I'm going to now. Mm-hmm. Did you guys catch that? So you can set up a survey. There's lots of tools. You can use a Google, I think, and there's a few
Survey
other.
Monkey?
Yeah, Survey Monkey. I'm trying to think of another one that does forms. There's a whole bunch of them. But
I use
basically,
go
yeah.
ahead. No, I was gonna say I use a survey on an entry. So what I'll do is a percentage of how many people I want to bring in. I'll put out some type of scholarship or something like that. But on the entry I have is I'll have an entry that takes like an intake form. And sometimes those people can tell me what my next course will be.
Yes.
Like if I asked them, do you need help here? Where are you building? Is this your first time starting? What have you? So if I get enough people in a certain area from the cluster, what I'll do is I'll start to those same people, I'll start promoting my next course just on the intake. And what they've done, they provided me the information on what people are looking for. And then I'll say, hey, I'm creating my next course will be on this, will be on this. And they'll say, oh my God, it's exactly what I was wanting. Well, you just told me what you needed to learn. So so on the entry, I'll do that, and I'll take in a couple of discounted or free entries on the front end just to collect that information. And then I'll be able to resell on the back end and then offer it up to everybody. So just an idea. Thank you.
Yeah, this is really good. And I almost feel like we need a separate call just on surveys, because surveys are so powerful. I mean, I have it right when you join my Hiro private Facebook group. I have 3 questions. And those are so, like, it tells me exactly what the audience needs. So I like Jenny's idea. There's ways to, like, I'm going to reward you for doing this survey. Really,
Carla,
really good. Yeah,
there's
go
an
ahead.
old book by Robert Allen, Multiple Streams of Income, and then there was multiple streams of internet income. What Jenny talked about, Robert covers like in great detail, and multiple streams of internet income. He didn't know what the internet was until somebody pulled him aside and said, look, you could send out an email and make $4,000 or whatever it is with one email. So he started helping Robert Allen, the great Robert Allen, who was, make no money down, buying houses with no money down fame, teaching him. So he basically showed him how to sell banners on his website, how to sell coaching, like just by doing a survey. Read the book, Multiple Streams of Internet Income. Old book, but it's great, great.
I'm going to put that in the chat. Multiple streams of internet income. And is that by Alan?
Robert Allen. He used to have an
Okay.
infomercial on buying houses with no money down.
Awesome. Thank you. Oh, I love it when people share. I love it when it's more of a conversation, knowledge sharing. Super cool. Thank you for that, Mark. Yeah, because surveys are like, we try to come up with ideas. Oh, thank you. He corrected the name. Give a quiz, provide the score, and if they want to see how they rank, and who doesn't send me your email and SMS number. Yeah, right. Dan has those are great. And I know a guy who's like made millions by just making up these little quizzes and surveys for people, like, what will you look like? Or what's, you see those all over Facebook. What's your star sign? What kind of cupcake should you be? That sort of stuff. And then you got to give your details to find the answer, but it goes viral, it's social, and they have fun. So really cool. I love that idea. And now I've got 4 that I'm always going to put in. So somebody asked me to recap the 3. The first one is a gift. I give an SMS with a gift. Second is just if they stop listening, I ask them, is everything okay? And then the third is when they're about 80% done with my audio book or audio program, I ask them, I congratulate them. And I say, look, I have an opening in my calendar. Would you love to see how we can do this for you? And it doesn't have to go to a calendar. It can go to, here's the next steps. Make sure you jump in my group or jump on a call. I give free calls every Tuesday. Yeah. And the congrats is really inviting them to take a next step with you. Okay. To keep that momentum going. So this is really, SMS is super powerful because it's, people open it and stuff. And when I designed Hiro, I wanted everything to be on the phone because that's the future. I don't want people to have to go to their computer and stuff to connect with you. But the other thing is when I learned how to speak from stage and present, one of the biggest things I kept saying is you have to engage the audience. Like you have to get them to talk back to you. You have to get them to at least like type in the comments and do stuff like that. Because things that are in motion stay in motion. Okay. Things that are in motion stay in motion. So if they're already moving, they're going to keep moving. And the movement that you want them to do is buy, call, book a call, right? You want them to stay in motion so they take that action. And what a lot of audiobooks or podcasts or one of all those things do is it's one direction. They're just talking to you and it's not 2 directions. And I wanted people to be able to start to be in motion, because you're going to ask them to take further steps. You're going to ask them to buy something or jump on a call or do something. But if they're just only hitting play and that's it, like they aren't texting you or replying or taking any sort of action, then they're not going to take the big action because they're in inertia. They're in inertia. And all of a sudden, you got to use all this energy to get them to take action. So, oh, thank you, Stacy. Yeah. Awesome. Oh, thank you. That's nice. Yeah, I love talking from stage. Once you learn how to do it, it's I'm so much better at that than this, because I do the ahs and the ums and stuff a lot here. But laha, I am here. Okay, so that's a big part of why I added in this conversational piece with the audio, is because I want this action and activity. I want the back and forth. I want people to message me and to have these energies going, because it's all energy, and I want the motion to continue. So any questions on that? Any comments? Anything anybody wants to share? Don't talk to them, but have a conversation. Yeah. And that's exactly it. I do have a link to the PDF reader with the paywall, but that's okay, Jenny Jones. Drop your affiliate links. We are fine. Jenny just sent me a direct message asking, he's got a link. It's an affiliate link.
Well, yeah, no. So the one that I use, right, it turns your documents into a full PDF, and then you can have hot links within the PDF, right? And then you can tell whether the PDF was read, and you can tell, actually it gives you a value of how much your PDF has increased in value by how many times it's been shared. It's a very unique tool that I use it for everything I can track. I know if I'm giving a PDF out, I can put a paywall on it. I can put a PayPal behind it. If I can only allow you to read 3 pages for free, I can add audio and video to it. I can come up as a talking head and talk to each page. So, I mean, I think it runs about, I think $8 a month, or I think you can do 1 doc for free, but I think it runs about $8 a month. So I use that to protect all of my documents. When I started doing a lot of speaking, people just start taking your information and they started regurgitating it. Next thing you know, your stuff's ended up all online and stuff. So I found them to be very useful and to protect my stuff, my what I call my digital assets. So
yeah, drop the link. Anybody else want that link? What he's talking about? He said it's his affiliate link, but I feel like he's giving us enough that we can like give back a little bit by using his affiliate link. Yeah, so awesome. Please do. I want it. So please drop it. Yeah. And we don't have to use it, but $8, that sounds pretty cool to see
when you see how powerful.
Sounds a lot like how I set up Hiro. You can see who listened.
But when you see how powerful it is and everything that they give you in protecting your PDF, and it makes the page turns and all that. And then I think, I don't know, for the $8, I don't know if you can get a domain with it, but I think mine has a domain with it. But I don't know. I'll just drop it in there if you guys want to take a look.
Yeah, we can take a look.
Sure.
Super cool. I love all this knowledge sharing. It's so good. Yeah, and analytics are valuable. They're super valuable. All right. So while Jenny's doing that, any other bits people want to share, comments, questions, anything? I'm going to do a demo in a little bit, but jump in.
I don't have a share, but I have a question for you. I got your Hiro app through AppSumo. Cool that you offered that. Thank you. But my question is, my brother and I are going to be creating a audio book.
Okay.
And you had mentioned that Amazon like owns your books, and you're saying your app doesn't. Can you explain how you protect the asset?
Yeah. So Amazon, I'm sorry if you understood it like that. Amazon doesn't own the rights to my book. I own the rights. Okay. So the way I set it up is, okay, I'm going to ask you a question back, because I want to make sure I'm answering this correctly. Are you asking how I technically set it up?
No, I just want to
Okay.
know like on my side, if I put a book onto your app, I understand that like from what you've said that I own my book and I get, and if I like do a subscription service to it or whatever, like
Mhm.
that's my money. And so I just wanted to understand like
Yeah.
how it works. That's all.
Okay. Yeah. So yes, you own the rights to your book. You own the copyrights. You get 100% of your sales, except Stripe will take out a percentage. Unfortunately, there's nothing I can do about that. Um, and the percentage depends on the volume and all this other stuff, but you own everything. So to get into strategy a little bit, what I'll share is my book is on Amazon, my physical book, and I have the ebook on there, but the audiobook is not on Audible. I do not have the audiobook on Audible. But when people look for the book, look at the book, they usually try to see where is the audible link to purchase it, right? So I make sure I have in text that you can get the audio version here. And I'll put the link to the audio version. So the traffic that comes into Amazon will then go over to my audio version. And I have a couple of audio versions. I have the Hero sales page set up to sell my audiobook, which I used at first. I'm not using that as much anymore. I now use a funnel page to sell my book. It's like friggin' mile long. But that's what I'm using to sell my audiobook. I sell it with like a whole bundle of stuff, and it's like $5, the audiobook. So yeah. Thank you. Jenny posted the link in the notes. So thank you, Jenny. Does that answer your question? Is that good? Do you want more?
No, I think it does. It's I haven't ever done any publishing before, and so this is kind
Oh.
of like a new thing for me. So I
Yeah.
didn't really understand. And I thought that you meant that Amazon like would own my audio. Like if I put my
Oh.
audio on there, that they would own it. It like it's not
Mhm.
mine anymore. And maybe that's not true, but I wasn't sure. And it sounded like Hero would be a good place for having kind of that gateway we're talking about on this
Yes.
call a little bit, like protecting your property.
Yeah. So, do you guys mind if I diverge just a little bit on how I do the the book strategy? So,
Yeah, really quick, Carla, I
Mhm.
hate to say anything else. I actually did put a book on audio, and I just wanted to just tell her the quick difference. And sometimes they can own it. That's what I wanted to share.
Oh,
If you don't mind,
okay.
before you transition to that, when I did my first book, I wanted to say, oh, I'll do an audio book as well, right? Get more reach. So I did the audio. Once you go into an agreement with them, you, I think in some cases, of course, you'll get a lower commission if you decide to share. But I think the audio works a little bit different, where is they will own a lot of it to
Mm.
make it really specialized. So once you upload it to them, you cannot share that audio anywhere else. So you really are selling your soul to the devil if you do the audio. And I think you have more
On
flexibility on the book, but the audio is a little bit tricky, because I think there are smaller margins on the audio versus on the
Mm.
book side. But I think if you do it yourself and say, hey, I'm gonna still share it, I think it's next to nothing that you'll get. I'd have to go back. I'm gonna go back and look at that for you. But I did do audio, and after I did, I was like, oh man, why did I do this? So
Yeah.
anyway,
Yeah, because Audible won't let you know who
no,
got your book.
no, you'll
Um,
never know who downloaded it. You'll never know that person. So I tried to, when I was doing the audio, and one thing is when you're doing the audio and you never know what will end up, is you kind of always want to reference some of your landing pages and some of your funnels throughout your audio as you're giving
yes.
your audio. That way, if it ever ends up in someone else's hand or someone tries to share it, they'll know where your root is.
I'm
Sorry,
gonna grab a book real quick.
I don't want to take over your class, Carla, but
No, that's helpful. That's kind of what I've heard too. So I just
okay,
wanted
cool.
to know from
I
somebody who's
just wanted
actually
to,
published audio and books and everything that I haven't done to get your expertise on it.
yeah, no,
So
yeah,
I
go
guess
ahead.
what the message is don't do Audible if you have Hero.
Yeah, that's my plan.
Yep.
So I just wanted to
Okay.
clarify like what like it sounds like I'm on the right track with going with you and your app, but I wanted to just like see, and I do want you to go back and clarify like your book strategy. That would be amazing.
Yeah. Okay. I'll do it real quick. If you can send an email to hello@hero.fm, I'll send you a link to a video where I do a deeper dive into this. But what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to quickly share on a whiteboard how this works. Okay. So can you guys see my whiteboard? Yeah. All right.
Yep.
So what I do is first I set it up the audiobook on Hero. And I use the Hero SMS keyword opt-in. Okay. So there's a feature in Hero where you can have people text a word to get access. And that's what I set up first. And then what I do is I go out to social media and I do what's called a hand raising post. And basically it's saying, I just published a book about how to get this big result in this time frame without stuff you hate. So I just made a book about how to make $250,000 in a year without any funnels, ads, or big list. Who wants a copy? That's a hand raising post, because then people will say, oh, I do. And what I do then is here I will, if they reply, I do, then I will reply in the DMs. Okay. I'll send them a direct message in Messenger. And I will say, thank you for replying. Here's a link, or text this word to get the book, or here's a link to purchase it. It's only like, I'm just going to sell it for now for like $2-3 or give it away. Basically what I'm doing at this point is I'm building my list and credibility. Okay. So, and it's super fast. Like this can be set up in a couple of hours or like really, really fast. So I'm just using social media to build my list. While I'm doing this, I'm off on the sidelines and I am getting my book edited, formatted, cover design done, all the other things. What else do you have to do? I can't ever remember. Setting up Amazon KDP. And then now on Amazon KDP, you can set a go live date. Before I would just set it live and go live on that date. But one thing you want to do is order a copy first before your go live date. You want to have a copy because you want to be able to take a picture of yourself holding the book and sharing that on social media, right? So, but I don't want to wait for all that to be done. And I'm building my list here. Okay. Now that I have that done, the next thing I'm going to do is I have my go live date on my calendar, which is this date. Oh, it's not letting me draw another box. Let's see if I can do that. There we go. There's my date on the calendar. It's circled. And so leading up to that date, I am messaging this group and I'm asking them things like, what did you find helpful? Will you give me a review? Did you, all these things, because I can see in Hero if they finished or not. So I'm getting feedback. But the other thing I'm doing is on this date, I'm going to set the ebook or the Kindle version to 99 cents, which is the lowest it can go. And then I'm telling all these people that if I get the Kindle version for 99 cents on my launch date, I will give them access to a free training, which is normally like $250 or something like that. Okay. So now they're getting access to a free training. They get the book, they have to leave a review, and they have to send a screenshot of them their review in order to get access to this training. And that will then get you in the top of the charts. Now I'm going super fast. I'm skipping some of the details, but this is a high level view. So that gets you a best-selling book. And the other cool thing is when you do that training later on, so let's go ahead like a week, and you're doing the training, which you're covering stuff in the book. Now you have another asset that you can bundle with the audiobook, with the physical book to give as a bonus, which is this recording of your training that you did prior. All right. So that was a real high level view. I'm going to send you an email with a link to a video where I go through it in about like a half an hour. Any questions on that or comments?
Can you just repeat that email?
Oh, yes. It's hello@hero.fm. I'll put it in the, whoops, that's just going to, I'll put it in the chat. Maybe I can type hello@hero.fm. There we go. All right. And now to figure out how I stop sharing. Okay. Awesome. Any other questions? Do you guys want to see a demo of how these SMSs are set up? And then we can wind this down in a little bit. Hi, Dan. I didn't even see you there. How's Vermont?
Carl, I had a good question.
Yeah.
I think it was your last training a couple weeks ago. You had mentioned, or I had asked about, will you be coming out with like a entire process of videos showing us from start to finish how to get this all up and running? I was just curious about that.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me, yeah, I did. That's been done. Yeah. Thank you for bringing that up because,
And also, while you look that up really quick,
yeah.
if for Stasia and anybody else interested, if you use a platform like ACX for your Audible book or your audiobooks, first thing is the rights holder is the person or entity that owns the rights to the book, period, across the board. What you're giving up when you're publishing on Audible, from what I understand, is when you make that decision to allow that to be exclusive distribution, or you allow which gives you the higher rate on royalties, or the non-exclusive distribution, which keeps your options open to sell it elsewhere. But on Audible itself, you'll earn a lower rate. So if you use a platform like I mentioned, ACX, they will distribute it on Audible, Amazon, and iTunes. So just a little bit of information, but you own the rights to your book as the entity, publisher, literary agents, who you put down.
I picked up this book because I published this with Wiley. I don't know if you know Wiley. It's a they publish the books for dummies. It's called Idea to iPhone. And this thing is meaty, man. Like there's tons of information in here. It took me forever to publish this. And guess how much money I made off of this wonderful project? It was like 6 cents per book or something like that. When I finally figured out how much I was going to make from this, it was before I understood marketing or anything like that. I'm like, oh, this is going to open up so many doors. And
Don't
Yeah,
feel
I think
bad. Go ahead.
No, I was
What-
just saying, I think we all think, especially when you're coming, you're a brand new author, I think we all think that we're going to make all this money and change the world. Whereas if you have to do a lot of the marketing on your own. So with a tool like Hero, it's like, I can just stay at the top. I can cut out all the middleman and all that. That's what I love and was so impressed about Hero is it allows you to stay at the top of the food chain, because by the time you get your royalties and by the time you get all of that, those checks are very minimal. And I remember when I first did my Amazon, I was so excited. I was telling everybody, but I was still doing all the marketing, right? I was still doing all the social media posts and all that. If I'd have put all that effort into my own launch, like on a Hero or something like that, I would have stayed at the top. I would have got 100% of the payout, which I would have made more money from it. And so the tool like Hero just allows you to stay at the top, by the time they slice and dice it, by the time you get a check, it's like 40 cents. And you're like, wait, what? Wait, what happened? Right.
Mhm.
And so with Hiro, and I'll just end with this, is with Hiro, it allows you to not only sell your first book, but then you can, at the bottom, where when you've got new categories in there, you can say, hey, here's what I did. Here are the summer nights. I gave you the winter nights collection. Here's the summer nights collection. So then you can actually keep your audience engaged and sell them more as well, and staying at the top. So sorry, Carla, I just get excited about it.
No, don't apologize for complimenting my software. We'll just spend an hour with you guys complimenting it.
And Mark, I just
need
looked
it.
over my contract. You are right, Mark. It's peanuts if you say, hey, I don't want to give you 100%, but if you give them 100%, and if it's a good audience and they kind of like it, they'll give it a little bit of kind of juice to try to make money off of it too. But then that's it.
Well,
It's peanuts from there. So
I don't want to, like, as you said, steal the show and turn it into the Mark and Jenny Carla show, but I think that's why when you're going into publishing your physical book, you have to look at Kindle and say, do I want to price it above the 2.99 price point? Because then I won't get the 70%. So it's how you're treating this. Like, for me, this is all a platform. So the book isn't where I'm going to make my money. It's just a platform for our customers, our clients. Now they want this to become a bestseller on New York Times and all that other stuff. Then you have to use a different strategy. So it's, what are you approaching it for? It's just like with Hiro. I cannot wait till the day, and I'm going to keep bugging Carla about this, because she opens up like an agency model so that we can do this for our clients, because right now we can only use this for ourselves. But I think if she charges more money and allows us to turn this into like an agency, then it would really, really blow up. But at the end of the day, Hiro, for me, when I saw her speak, I ran over to speak to her after she got off stage. I was very emotional. I was like, wow, I really like this concept. Now can I try to go and replicate it? Probably, but why would I when she already has it all set up and done? And then I'm on fire wanting to use this. The holding back is like, I can't use it for clients, but I could try to get them to understand to use the other tools out there, like an ACX, like Kindle. But I think in the beginning is to ask ourselves our question: what is this book? What am I trying? It's like when you build a website. Why are you building a website? Do you really need a funnel? Like Carla has a really nice, sophisticated sales page funnel, and with the one that she demos and shows us. But do we really need to click funnels now? No disrespect to Russell, but we don't. You have Hero.fm now.
Yeah. Jenny just texted me directly. He's like, told you so.
wait, Carla,
Mark,
if I'm gonna send you private messages, you can't say Jen is just that's like the second message. Never mind, go ahead. But I did tell you about agency.
Might as well just tell everybody.
I did tell you about agency though. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Jenny. I should keep my trap shut. It's just so funny because, like, Mark, as you were saying that, I knew that's what you were thinking, Jenny, because Jenny and I had a conversation late last week. He's like, you got to open it up to agency model. I'm like, I don't know how to do that. Like, I don't know how to do it. Mark, send me a email so I can show you what we're working on. All right.
I love it. Honestly, love it.
Yeah, here, I'm gonna drop you my email address so you can send me an email, and then we can set up a time. I'm gonna go through what I was thinking about, what I came up with Jenny, and bounce it off of you, because feedback is
And
good.
not only that,
So,
we can become your biggest ambassadors. No, not blowing smoke. Okay, I'm being very honest. We can become your biggest ambassadors because we get to show people, look, you can use this for yourself, or if you're thinking agency model, this tool can allow you to get clients. Because that's exactly like what Perry did with Scalewin. He's telling people, look, you can go out there and charge $2,000 to do content repurposing like we do for 450 pieces of content for $2,000. Molly Mahoney, same thing. They just put it out there so they have a singular model or an agency model, and I think then you see your sales go from what they were currently on AppSumo to whatever the price point you think is fair for agency. People are going to jump at the chance.
yeah. You're right. I was just technically how we set everything up. I wasn't sure whether we'd be able to do it. One thing that we launched recently, thanks to Jenny again, is allowing to group your shows into categories. So you can set up a category, and then only those shows in that category will be displayed on your page. And then the second big thing that we asked, oh, I'll pause there. I think somebody was saying something. No? And then the other thing we're going live with shortly this week, hopefully, is multilingual sales pages, because we have so many people in Europe. I guess like nobody in Europe is making software. I don't know. So we're doing multilingual, not just that, but also Spanish. And all my developers speak Spanish. So they're like, yeah, we need Spanish. And my kids speak Spanish. So need to have Spanish. So that's next. And then we got a couple other things. Oh, add in your own email address. So the emails aren't coming from Hiro. That's super important. Your self-branding. So that's going to be next. And then the agency model. So we are listening to you guys. Yay. Oh, yeah. Dan asked a question about using this for politics. I don't know why not. I'm not sure exactly. I could see it being used for politics, Dan. So what you could do is set up sort of like an update, so you can update your biggest fans and followers on what's happening. So you could drop in audios all the time. You can drop in recordings of interviews. You can, I think it's like really feeding your customer base and your client base. So holy cow, Colleen sends about 50 million messages a month.
Yeah, for Colleen, that's probably an understatement. She probably does twice that. You need
What
to
do
know
you
who
do,
Colleen.
Colleen?
You need to know
That's
who Colleen is.
incredible. That's awesome. Okay, yeah, with Twilio, I'm gonna address this since we're on the whole SMS thing. I am in talks with a woman who they're working with, I'm going to call it the mothership. So it's who Twilio goes to get their service. And so she is setting up kind of like a Twilio competitor. And she's going to give Hiro, or the Hiro customers, like, we'll be cutting out that whole Twilio middleman stuff, and it'll be much better. I don't have a time frame. I'm hoping it's Q1 of 24 is where we're going at. So, Colleen, we're working on it. I hope so very soon. That, because like, yeah, it's not, that's got to be really expensive. 50 million messages in Twilio. That's got to be like, I'm sure you're making it back, but yeah. So, I wonder if members can share the different ways they are using Advantage. Yes, I would love that too. Jenny, would you do this a favor with, because you've been so good in that Facebook group with stirring up the energy, and I hate it always being my voice or me. Would you be asking people to, like, how are you planning to use Hiro? What are some ideas? Because I'm curious about that too. And I could certainly go on and on about different strategies. I'll drop the group right here. Stacia, am I saying that right? Stacia. Anyway,
It's Stacia, but I answer literally Sandy.
okay, Stacia. Okay. I know. I don't like messing up people's names. I had a really bad maiden name that nobody got right.
The worst one I've ever heard was Stachia. I was like, oh wow.
Yeah.
It's like you're not even trying.
And earlier, I apologize to the gentleman or person that asked the question about the political campaigning, because I was taking it from, we can't use it for our clients. And so like me and my wife, like, we want to use this account, but I was like, I don't want to lose my account because I'm publishing your books, babe. I go, because I don't know if Carla would allow me to publish your books. I said, so I had set it up under my name, but I know that you, when we asked you, you said, no, you can't use it for customers and clients. They'd have to get their own account.
Well, and the reason that is because, let's say I had 5 clients under my one single account. If one of those clients had something malicious, something against T's and C's, then we'd have to take down the account and then everybody's is gone. And that's not fair to all the other people. And it looks poorly on us. It looks poorly on you. So we're like, well, just one person per account. So that's really, it's the legalities involved with making sure that everything's legit. You know, like we don't want people posting stuff that's harmful to the world. That is, you know, I'm not even going to go there, but you guys
Or two
know.
different categories, right? Like somebody's doing something, and God for again, you have children's authors, and then you have erotica, right? It can't be
Right.
under the same publisher.
And I don't mind erotica, like anything like that. Like I will approve alternative medicines and you know, pot, marijuana, all these things. That's not where it's at. But if it's harmful to children or, you know, pedophiles or anything like that, then we got to be careful, right? Because then us as the mothership are the ones who go down. So we got to keep an eye on all that. And that is why we don't have a marketplace just yet. That's another dream I have, is to set up a marketplace so then we can bring traffic to your shows. But it's much like when you submit an app to the App Store, that app has to go through an approval process. And we just don't have the bandwidth or the teams to go through and approve all these different shows that are going to be on the marketplace and look through and review them and make sure everybody's good. And that's a huge process in business. It's a great opportunity, but I just need to get in the agency model for Mark, I guess, first, because he's going to blow us up.
I'm sure there's a few of us on here that would definitely like that agency model.
Yeah. I'm glad to hear that. It always does my heart good to know that I'm on the right path with our roadmap. So I'm glad you brought that up.
Well, look,
Can you
here's an example.
explain why it can't be done? Like, is it just because you can only use one website per account or something? Like, what is the limitation?
Yeah, well, there's a couple, technical and legal. Okay. So I'm going to swap over, and because like words don't do as much as visuals. So here's Hiro. Okay. Here's the software. And this is my account. And you'll see profile. Oh shoot, the people over at Ecamm Live aren't being able to see the Hiro app. Oh well, I'm just going to keep going. So here's my profile. Now, this right here will show up in the app, in the player app, whether it's Apple Player, Google Player, whatever, or the Hiro Player. It shows up as the person and the person who creates this product. Okay. The other thing is technically each account has a profile page. So these are all my shows. So if we had, for example, an agency, and that was the agency, then it would list every client show here. If the show sales page is set to live, if you don't turn on the sales page, it won't show up here. So there's technically, you can't really say, well, here's a page for Bob, here's a page for Jane, here's a page for Joe. You can't quite do that right now, but we are going to change it. So if you go up here instead of home, you'll be able to pick a drop down and select the client that you want to work with. And then it'll show that client's shows.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. So it's because like if you go into integrations and if you set up a Twilio account, well, then you got like one person, one account sending for 5 different customers or 10 different customers. And you got one inbox for 10, 20 different people, right? It just doesn't really work. So we're going to change it. So then you can add in different accounts into one membership Does that
Yeah,
make sense?
Yeah, that would be really great too, because I actually do have a friend who hasn't published, but she has a book written. And I was like, well, I can help you market it. There's this really great app. And I didn't realize that I couldn't. So that's good to know.
Yeah. I think yeah, this is like, then you can charge people. Like you just set it all up for them and they just pay you, right? And they don't even have to know it's Hiro.
Right.
I got the Facebook group name wrong. Groups. I think it's Super Heroes with an S, not I think I just put hero. So is there an advantage to publish the same podcast on YouTube and Hero as well? That's a really good question. I'm going to get into questions in a little bit. I just want to share how I do the automation, the automated SMSs. That's a demo. So here it is. Here's all my automated messages for my audio book. And you'll see there's quite a few. So when they hit a certain spot, I send an SMS. Like they get a special note to you. I send them a free gift. And then I think this is a visual that I send to them. If a listener, so these are all things that go with the book. And then here, if a listener stops listening for 3 days in a row, then I'll send them an email and an SMS. And I also have one when they start the show. I added that in at the end. So those, it's not really hard to set up. And you can always change it around, test it out. But you set up one automation per show. Not an like you don't set up one sequence per automation. You pick a show and then all the automations you want for that show, you set it up for one show. And then over here are my keywords. And you can see, you can set up the keyword. And you can see over here what's going to happen when they text the keyword. You can select, do I want to collect the email? Do I want to collect the name? And then here's the link to the show. And you can choose to send them to the show, to the sales page, to a custom URL, or just create the contact only. So that's how I build my list. And I don't know, like a couple other things, like then I can go in and I can look at my listeners who got my show, and I can see how many episodes they listened to and how long it, like when they listen to it, how many times they listen to it, all sorts of things. So
this actually all answers your question to the previous question that someone had, where what's the advantage of using Hiro versus YouTube? You get none of this for YouTube. You don't even know who just listened to your podcast on YouTube. You have no idea. You don't know where the geotags are. You don't know their email address. You don't know their SMS. There you go.
What I think is a cool strategy if you have a YouTube channel is to take out some of your top episodes, and you can, well, in Hiro, you can import a whole channel. You just like connect to your YouTube. I'll show you how it's done real quick. So when you create a new show, you can import from YouTube. You connect to your Google account. I'm not going to do it now, but when I connect to my Google account, then it'll say, okay, which channel do you want to import? And it'll import everything, all your episodes. It'll convert it to audio. It'll bring in the titles. It'll bring in the descriptions, everything. And so, but it takes a minute. It doesn't do it like boom. So you just kind of let it go. And then about 5 minutes later, you get an email from Hiro saying the import is done, but the show settings is the show isn't set to live. It isn't turned on. So you have to go in and turn the show on, and you have to go in and go into each episode and make each episode live as well. And then you can start giving access to the show. But what I like is you do that, you set that up, and then on your YouTube channel, you can put in the show notes, get my top episodes, listen to them anytime. Just, go to this link or text this word or whatever. So, yeah. Diana, yeah, I know. I love to knowledge share. I love sharing. I like seeing people like put this into action, actually. That's my
Something
favorite thing.
to consider with the benefit of one over the other, you can use YouTube to just put a teaser clip on there and then tell them they need to go to Hero to get their full show. So that's kind of what we've done too with, it's like what people do with social media now. They put the short form content on TikTok and Twitter, and they say, if you'd like the whole episode, click here. And then now you can send them to Hero and capture their information if they're not already subscribers. And if they are, now you know who's listening to it. So you can use that just as a traffic distribution channel.
Mm-hmm. That's a really good idea.
See, taking advantage of that SEO there, Mark, that YouTube easily to figure out SEO strategy on YouTube. Mm-hmm. Just know what people are looking for, and then put all those words or put the description, and then bring them to the teaser. Like Mark said, yeah, that's great, Mark.
Well, if you guys really want a powerful tip, since Jenny's going there, what we tend to do is we look up the questions, right? What is your marketer niche, and what is the most asked questions about your marketer niche? You'd be amazed at what people are actually asking. We're too busy looking through things through our own eyes, and you need to look at it through Google's eyes and your customer's eyes. Once you put those goggles on and understand how your customer thinks, as Carla mentioned earlier about the cheese and the whiskers and what repulses our audience, questions are so powerful. SEO to me, I used to be a black hatter. I used to work for Ryan Dice. I used to work for Jay Abraham. I used to work for all these people. I made a lot of money, but I got tired of Google changing the algorithm, and I became like a victim of their algorithm updates. And the last one was around 2005 Florida update. I was done with it. I started going paid traffic and organic. And when you can go back to owning just what people are typing in, just the short form stuff, you could blow yourself up literally overnight.
I think we need a free web class just on that. Like demos, the whole works. Because that is powerful stuff that you guys are getting here. So Dan says he's trained hundreds of consultants. Can I use this channel for a tip of the day? Yes. Yeah. And that's like a perfect thing. So that's to go back to how I started Hero, or why I started Hero. Part of it is I was doing challenges and nobody was watching my videos, or if they were doing other stuff. And then the other thing, which I don't share very much, is do you guys know the app Voxer? Have you ever heard of Voxer? It's like a walkie-talkie app. You can create a little group, and I would leave a daily voicemail in that group. And it was like, and then people reply, and it's messy, and people wouldn't be able to find my original message. It was such a mess. And so I'm like, well, it'd be nice to have it all in one place. Right. So, yeah, and it was cool, but yes, I know Voxer can get challenging. So yeah, back to your point, Dan, it would work. It's like a newsletter, signing up for a newsletter or something like that, right? And the beauty of it is you can, with Hero, you can set it up. So if you're putting your audios in a place like a Google Drive, Hero will listen for that and automatically import it and create the episode. But you have to set the episode as live, because we want to make sure that you want people to actually hear it. We don't want to just push it out to people without your blessing first. So you do have to go into Hero and make it live.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because as you know, Perry's really big on that. That's their new model. And newsletters, they're getting acquired for tens of millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars. So if you look at hero.fm as launching your audio newsletter, or as an option to your newsletter, in your newsletter that you send out via email, have a link to say you can listen to this newsletter too. And now you send them over to hero.fm. It's really huge. I mean, as Perry says, once he hits 50 million, he's retiring, which I doubt he will. But audio newsletters, nobody's really jumping on that game. And when you have to think about it, when folks, can't hear, right? And your websites are supposed to be able to be, the law now is that for folks that are blind and folks that are hearing impaired. So you have something like Hiro that's helping with that, then you're kind of not killing two birds with one stone, but you're serving a larger audience and you're serving those that wouldn't normally be served.
And there's a group, I don't know what that book is by Dan Kennedy about how to sell to the wealthy or something like that. But that group of people don't want to get on Zoom calls. A lot of times they don't want to read emails because they're like jetting around town or doing this and that. And so they just want to pop in an earbud. And I know a lot of my Hiro users, that's their market base, are like CEOs or people who are truly busy. Like, I mean, not that we're not truly, all of us are really, really busy, but these people just won't even get on a Zoom call. So you open up to that market as well, which is important.
I think
This
part of
is
the
cool.
reason
Yeah, go ahead.
is they put it on double time. Like when I go through courses and material, I put it at 2.37 to try to get through it fast, depending on how fast the speaker is. If they talk too fast or it's a foreign dialect and they have a thick accent, I'll slow it down. But most of the time I'm at 2.37 when I'm listening to material.
Yeah. Colleen just gave me the name of the book. There, she put it out to everybody. No BS Marketing to the Affluent. That is a good book. It's a few years old, but still really relevant and worth reading. Because if you're going to do the work, you might as well just make more money from it. Right? So, this is awesome. This is really great. I am going to have to wind it up because I know I'm going to have some interruptions in about 10 minutes. Oh, she dropped the link even. Thanks. So, yeah. That's cool, Diana. Diana just gave me a little message. Just send me an email. Yeah, you guys are, thank you guys for showing up. That's what makes it more fun. I don't want to just talk to myself on Zoom. So, and thank you for the little greetings from Vermont. I wish I was there. I bet it's beautiful. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Jenny. Thank you, Diana. Thank you, everybody. Have a great rest of your day. It's a beautiful October day. So I will speak to you next week, Tuesday at 2 Central, same place. And if you have any topics you want me to cover, just message me, message us in the group, message my team, and I'm happy to share. All right. Bye, guys.